Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. Just wanted to quickly discuss with you about combustion of planets and what it means in your astrological chart, because this is so misunderstood and there is so much of it floating around. I found a good book which I shall be putting on the screen on reference. So keep watching and thank you for all your likes, shares and subscribes. Okay, here we go. It's presentation with a little box of me on the side. So just keep watching. So what does combustion mean really? When any planet comes close in contact in angle with the sun, it is said to be combusted. Now we shall not go into degrees and all that because the degrees are calculated by the software. So we don't have to bother too much with what planet is combust or not. And we shall see that in some case studies also later on in further videos. So what is combustion of planet? When planet comes too close to the sun, it becomes invisible or it merges with the energy of the sun. Now sun being a soul significator in a chart means sun stands for the soul energy. It really means that when a planet comes too close to the sun, the energy of the planet merges with the energy of the sun. Basically this is what it means, yeah? So let us see what this book, Robert Swoboda, Light on Life, tells us about this. This is a wonderful book reading I recommend to all who are interested in learning Vedic Astrology. I typically don't go with Indian authors because they are too tied up with tradition and this is too much confusing for simple minds like myself, really. So let us read through this. What does the definition mean according to the book? One useful rule for interpretation of combustion is that while externalized meanings, including various body parts or of a house, are often damaged when the ruler of the house is combust, meaning if Venus is the ruler of Taurus and of Libra, if Venus is combust, meaning those houses where Taurus and Libra fall tend to decrease in the physical manifestations, but it is still something else. Let's see what that is. The inner meanings, including particularly the psychic or the mental functions, are usually not spoiled. Take note of that. On the contrary, when the sun, who represents the soul, comes into contact with a planet, the inner or the astral qualities of the graha or the planet will become illumined and enlivened. Meaning what? If Venus is combust, all the qualities of Venus now are in your soul. It is coming through your soul. It may not manifest in physical reality. Probably it will be that you have to bring the energies of that planet into focus in whatever you are going to do in the world. For example, Sun plus Mercury often causes the native to become intellectually brilliant. Venus tends to enliven the quality of beauty. This is according to Robert Swoboda, a book called Light on Life, Introduction to the Astrology of India. Okay. So by extension of the same logic, the energy of the planet becomes merged with the energy of the soul or the sun. So let us see planetary significations, meaning what each planet really stands for and what the combination of planet combustion leads to and what energy you bring as a soul now, which is an integral part of you. No need to manifest in the external world. No need for your soul to learn all those from the external world. You already come in with this energy. That's what it essentially means, yeah? So now let's see what happens when Mercury goes combust, which is most common because it's the closest to the sun. We'll start from the ones closest to the sun. Mercury combust in a chart is the most frequent. Everybody knows this. What does Mercury stands for? It stands for rationality, intelligence, wit, cleverness, skill, dexterity, verbal and mental ability, shrewdness, or on the negative side, aloofness, detachment, amorality, expediency, over-intellectualization, difficulty in thought and communication. So when Mercury goes combust, the person might tend to become aloof, detached, amoral, and so on and so forth. But yet, it is merged with the energy of the sun. So you may also come in with rationality, a good deal of intelligence, wit, cleverness, etc. It depends upon where the Mercury is placed in your chart. If Mercury is placed in exalted places, like if it's placed in Virgo or Gemini, it is exalted, so it will bring in the positive. Whereas if you find it in where it is debilitated, then it might not do very well. So this is the distinction between how a planet becomes positive or negative. Next, let us see Venus, what it does. Now, if you look at Venus combust, let us see what Venus brings in as the energy of the soul itself when it is combust. Okay, it brings in affection, friendliness, love, gentleness, sociability, harmony, balance, elegance, gracefulness, refined sense of sensuality, or on the downside, it can be laziness, vanity, sentimentality, vices and sensual corruption, and lack of taste and refinement. Once again, you got to see where Venus is placed. If it's placed in Taurus and Libra, it is exalted and it will give you more positive results rather than the negative ones. And you also got to see where physically Venus is also placed in the chart, because the house where Venus is placed, it will amplify based on whether it is exalted or debilitated. It will amplify those qualities from that house. Okay. Now, if we start speaking about Mars as being combust, what does Mars stands for? It stands for goal-directed energy, strength, courage, passion, action. Mars is an action-oriented guy. Competitive and fighting spirit, vim and vigor. These are the positive qualities of Mars. Or on the downside, it may become angry. It has irritability, haste, impatience, inconstancy, inconsistency, lack of drive and courage, the all or the nothing attitude. Now, once again, where Mars is placed, Mars is the ruler of Aries and of Scorpio. So if Mars falls in one of these two houses, Mars is in a high position. It has got all the strength and energy, right? And depending upon where physically Mars is placed, it might not be placed in Scorpio or Aries. It might be placed in some other aspect of houses, right? One of the 12 houses. So depending upon this, even if Mars is combust, you come as a driven person. You come as a person with drive and with passion, action oriented, and to want to accomplish stuff. It comes naturally to you. That's what combust means. The qualities of the planet become merged with your soul energy. Okay, now let's see Jupiter, what it does. So Jupiter, when it becomes combust, what does it do? What are the significations of Jupiter? It stands for growth and expansion. It stands for humanitarian and spiritual outlook. It stands for wisdom, optimism, faith, geniality, generosity, joviality, humor, idealism, good powers of judgment and discernment. Or, on the downside, it can become overconfident, overindulgent, very extravagant, immorality. It can become greedy. It can become materialistic in attitude, in the sense of wanting the best of everything. Once again, Jupiter rules two houses, two signs. Which two signs? Pisces and Sagittarius. So if Jupiter is sitting in Pisces or Sagittarius and is combust, those attitudes become positive but yet internal to you. You don't have to learn that from the Jupiterian energies in the external world. You are born with it. That's what this means. Okay, let's see Saturn. Finish up with Saturn. Now Saturn, when it's combust, when it is so close to the sun that the energy of Saturn is burnt, what does Saturn's significations stand for? Saturn stands for authoritativeness. It stands for discipline. It stands for responsibility. It stands for conservatism, practicality, realism, durability, constancy, consistency. Or on the downside, Saturn also stands for anxiety, inhibition, isolation, depression, rigidity, stinginess, disappointment, loneliness, resignation, a lack of adaptability, melancholy, lack of trust, and of suspicion. Okay, so Saturn can become inherently authoritative when it's merged with the energy of the sun. Saturn rules two zodiac houses, which one's Aquarius and Capricorn. So if Saturn is sitting there, it'll bring that sense of naturally becoming authoritative. You might find this in the people around you, in your parents, in your bosses, in your mothers. Some people are naturally authoritative. When they speak, everybody just shuts up and listens, you see. They have that inner sense of authority, they have a sense of discipline, they have a sense of responsibility, which is innate. They don't have to learn that from the external world. Now, this is what I want you to take away from this video. Combust is not necessarily mean that you're going to get something external related to that planet, but you are getting that energy from you and bringing out to the external world. Okay, think of it like this.